Hello good day viewers, here is NECO 2023 Mathematics Examination Objective Question Paper. This question paper contains 60 questions and I'm going to walk you through all the solutions to these problems. So you can see all the questions here. Now let us get started. Question number 1, we are asked to decrease 120 by 25%. One thing I always advise my students is that if a question can be solved using calculator, go ahead and do that in order to save time, right? But for me, I'm going to show you the workings. If you want to reduce a number by a certain percentage, you should remember that any number in its original form is always 100%. So any number in its original form is 100%. But we want to reduce the number by 25%. So we have to subtract 25%. Then we multiply by the number, which is 120. This is how to do that. Then 100 minus 25 is 75. This is 75%. Then multiplied by 120. And you should know that 75% is the same thing as 75 divided by 100. Then multiplied by 120. So from here you can use your calculator to do that. If you don't want to, I know that 10 can cancel 10 here, and if you divide 75 by 10, you're going to obtain 7.5, then multiplied by 12. This is what we have, and 7.5 multiplied by 12 is equal to 90. Therefore, if you reduce 120 by 25%, you're going to obtain 90, which is option C. Now let us move on to question number 2. Here is question number 2. We are asked to find the product of 10110 in base 2 and 11 in base 2. So if your calculator can convert between bases, kindly do that before you multiply the numbers. Convert the calculator into base 2, multiply these two numbers and pick the right option. But for me, I'm going to convert the two numbers into base 10, multiply the result, I recompact the result into base 2. Okay, let me start with the first number here, which is 10110 in base 2. If I want to convert this number into base 10, I will take the first digit, which is 1, multiply by the base, add, take the second digit, multiply by the base, take the third one, multiply by the base, the fourth one, multiply by the base, and the last one multiplied by the base, which is 2. Then you assign index from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Always start with the last number. Then let me group them like this. So once you simplify this, you're going to obtain a number in base 10, which is equivalent to this one in base 2. All right, we know that 2 raised to the power of 4 is 16, and 16 times 1 is 16. So the whole of this is 16 plus, irrespective of whether this is 8, we know it is 8 times 0, it will give us 0, plus 2 to the power of 2 is 4, times 1 is 4, then plus 2 to the power of 1 is still 2, times 1 is 2, plus 2 to the power of 0 is 1, times 0 is 0. If you add all of these numbers together, you're going to get 22. Therefore, 10110 in base 2 is equivalent to 22 in base 10. Let us take the next number. The next number is 11 in base 2. This is equal to the first digit times the base plus the second one times the base. Assign index 0 and 1. Simplify, get a number in base 10. 2 to the power of 1 is 2, times 1 is 2, plus 2 to the power of 0 is 1, times 1 is 1. So all of this will give us 3 in base 10. So we want to multiply their result. So we say that 1011 in base 2 multiplied by 11 in base 2 is the same thing as multiplying 22 by 3, which is what? 66 in base 10. But remember, we are dealing with numbers in base 2. So we are going to convert this 66 back to base 2. So how do we do that? we are going to perform a successive division of this number 66 using a prime number 2. So we have 66 down here, then we have 2 at the back. How many times can 2 divide 66? It's 33 times without remainder. Then you plug in 2 again. 33 divided by 2 is 16 with a remainder of 1. We continue doing the same thing. 2 into 16 is 8 without remainder. 2 into 8 is 4 without remainder. 2 into 4 is 2 without remainder. 2 into 2 is 1 without remainder, but 2 cannot divide 1, so we stop here. Then we take these numbers from this particular 1 like this up to the last 0 in descending order. So this would be what? 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 base 2. So let's just go ahead and find out the right option. We have 1 4 zeros 1 0. 1 4 zeros 1 0, which is option A. Now let us move on to question number 3. All right, here is question number 3. We are asked to express the whole of these numbers, the sum of all these 4 numbers in decimal. So you can simply plug in all these numbers into your calculator and choose the right option. But for me, I'm going to show you step by step on how to do that. So we have 5. I can divide 5 by 1, then plus the second one, which is 2 divided by 100. 2 divided by 100 plus 3 divided by 1000. Then lastly, we have 4 divided by 100,000. 4 divided by 100,000. Remember, if you are adding fractions that have the same denominators, you can always add the numerators together. But since we don't have common denominators, we are free to convert all their denominators into a common denominator. And what is the LCM between all of these 4 numbers? 100,000 and 100,000. It is 100,000. So we are going to convert all the denominators to 100,000. So to make this 100,000, you have to multiply it by 100,000. And also for equivalency, you have to multiply the top number by the same 100,000. So 5 times 100,000 is 500,000. Then 1 times 100,000 is 100,000. Plus, to convert this into 100,000, you have to multiply by 1,000. For equivalency, you multiply 2 by 1,000, you have 2,000. Divide by 100,000. Then here, to convert this into 100,000, you have to multiply by 100. So we have 300 divided by 100,000. Then lastly, we have 4 divided by 100,000. All right, now you can see that the denominators are exactly the same. Then you are free to add the numerators. So 500,000 plus 2,000 plus 300 plus 4, that will give us 502,304 divided by 100,000. 100,000 contains how many zeros? It contains 5 zeros. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Drop your decimal at that point. So we have 5.02304. This is our final answer. So now let us check the option. So which number corresponds to this one? Let's check 5.02304. So this is the right option here, which is option C. Now let us move on to question number 4. All right, here is question number 4. We're asked to simplify 2 root 5 divided by root 10. Simplifying this expression is as simple as rationalizing the denominator. And how do we do that? We can multiply the top and the bottom by square root of 10. So we have 2 root 5 divided by root 10. Then you multiply the top by root 10, you divide by root 10. So this is equivalent fraction, because what we use to multiply the top is exactly the same with what we multiply the bottom. So to the top we have 2 Root 5 times root 10 is root 50. To the bottom, we have root 10 times root 10 is root 10 squared, right? And you know that 50 is the same thing as 25 times 2. So we have 25 times 2 divided by 10, because power of 2 will clear the square root. Then we know that square root of 25 is 5. So you bring the 5 outside, it will multiply the 2. Then inside we still have square root of 2. Then you divide by 10. You know that 2 times 5 is 10. And we still have 10 to the bottom, so they will cancel. So this will cancel this. What do we have left? Just square root of 2. And that is option C. Question number 5. The question number 5 reads, a boy walks 88 paces. Here we are talking about steps. So he walks for 88 steps in 1 minute. If his average pace length is 0.55 meter, so for example, if one of his legs is here and the other one is here, so the distance apart is 0.55. That is what it means. What fraction of an hour will it take him to walk for 1936 meter? All right, let's get started. According to this question, it stated that in 1 minute, so let me write 1 minute here. It took him what? How many steps? 88 steps. So what about 1 hour? 1 hour, you know, is 60 minutes. So in 60 minutes, it will be what? You know, it will be more than this. So to find out the number of phases, it will be 88 multiplied by what? 60. And this will be what? 5,280 paces in just 1 hour. Therefore, in 1 hour, he walks for 5,280 paces. But according to the question, he covered 0.55 meter in every single step. So what do you expect in 5,280 steps? He will cover this times 0.55. So in 1 hour, he covered 5280 times 0.55. Let me see what this will give us. This is 2,904 meters. So this is what he covered in just 1 hour. But the question is asking us to find what fraction of an hour will he walk for 1,936 meters, which is less than this. So let me show you how you can do that. We have seen that for 2,904 meters, it took him just 1 hour, right? 1 hour. So what about this one? 1,936. 1,936 meter. You know, it must be a fraction which is less than an hour, because if he can cover 2,000 plus in 1 hour, he can cover this one in less than an hour. Therefore, it will be what? 1,936 divided by 2,904. If you use your calculator, you're going to obtain 0.6666 recording, which is in fraction equal to what? 2/3. So this is the fraction of an hour, 2/3. Let's find out. We have it as what? Option D. This is question number 5. Now let us move on to question number 6. Here is question number 6. We are asked to find the value of x, given that 3 multiplied by 8 is equal to x in mode 9. Remember that modular arithmetic is a remainder arithmetic. We are concerned with the remainder. So what is the result after multiplying 3 by 8? 3 multiplied by 8 is indeed equal to 24. But 24 is not the value of x because we are concerned with the remainder. It is what? A bundle of 9. So how many bundles of 9 are in 24? 24 is equal to 9 plus 9 plus 6. So you can see that this is a complete bundle, this is another complete bundle, but we have a remainder of 6, and hence x equal to 6. Another way you can do that is to take this 24 and divide by 9. It will give us 2 exactly with a remainder of 6. And I told you modular arithmetics is concerned with the remainder, and hence the value of x is equal to 6, which is option C. Now let us move on to question number 7. Question number 7 reads, if log of 3 with the base of 10 is equal to 0.4771, we are asked to evaluate log of 8.1 with the base of 10. Alright, let's get started. 8.1 is the same thing as 81 divided by 10, right? So we can write this as log of 81 divided by 10, still in base 10. And you should know that according to one of the laws of logarithm, we can split this into log of 81 minus log of 10. So this is equal to log of 81 minus log of 10. But 81 is the same thing as 3 raised to the power of 4, because they want us to solve this problem without using calculator. So this is log of 3 raised to the power of 4 minus log of a number having the same base as the number is forever equal to 1. Remember, this is base 10, this is base 10. Log of 10 base 10 is equal to 1. So we have 1 right here. And according to one of the laws of logarithm, this power can drop down to multiply. So we have 4 times log of 3 minus 1. But log of 3 is given from the question as 0.4771. So this is equal to 4 multiplied by 0.4771, then minus 1. 4 multiplied by 0.4771 is equal to 1.9084. If you subtract 1, you're going to obtain 0.9084. And this is our final answer, which is option D. You can see that right here. Now let us move on to question number 8. Question number 8 reads, given that 2 log of y equal to 8 log of p plus 4 log of q, we are asked to express y in terms of p and q, meaning we should make y the subject. So since 2, 8, and 4 have a common factor of 2, we can divide every single term by 2. If you divide this by 2, you have only log of y equals 8 divided by 2 is 4, log of p, then 4 divided by 2 is 2, log of q. Then these numbers can serve as powers of these arguments according to one of the laws of logarithm. So we have log of y here equal to log of p raised to the power of 4 plus log of q raised to the power of 2. Then since we have common bases to these logs, they are all in base 10. You can assign these 2 times a single log and multiply the arguments according to one of the laws of logarithm. So log of y is equal to log of p to the power of 4 times q squared. And since we have common logs, we can cancel them and equate the arguments. Finally, y equal to p to the power of 4 q squared, which is option E. Question number 9. Question number 9, we are asked to calculate the compound interest on the principal amount 1,200 for 4 years at 8% per annum. Okay, what is the formula? Interest is equal to the total amount minus the principal. But how do we find amount? Amount is equal to the principal multiplied by 1 plus r, which is the rate, raised to the power of t. But what is p? Remember, p is the principal amount, which is given from the question as 1,200. Then the rate is equal to 8%, which is 0.08. Because if you divide 8 by 100, it will be 0.08. And time, t, is equal to 4 years. So let's substitute everything here. The amount, total amount, is equal to the principal multiplied by 1 plus r, which is the rate, raised to the power of t. And a here is equal to 1,200 multiplied by 1 plus 0.08 raised to the power of 4. If you simplify this, you're going to obtain 1632.59 naira, which you can see as option E. But this is not the answer. We are looking for the interest, so you have to substitute into this formula. Therefore, the interest, which is I, is equal to the total amount, which is 1632.59, minus the principal amount, which is 1200. And if you subtract, you're going to obtain 432.59 naira. So this is the interest, which is option B. No, option C. You can see that 432.59. Let us move on to the next question, which is question number 10. On that set, we are given 3 sets here, A, B, and C, and the element of set A are A1, C4, D. We have that of B, B40976, and that of C is A489, D2, and 5. We are asked to evaluate this A union B intersecting A union C. So let us find A union C. A union C is a collective set of A and B together to form a single set. So you are going to unite them, join them together. So A union B, we are going to form a new set of the combined elements. Here, let me write that of A first. We have A1, C4, and D. And that of B, we are going to unite them without repetition. So you can see we have B here, but in the set A there is no B, so you can write it confidently. We have 4 here, but 4 is already present in set A. Then you move to the next one. We have 0, we have 9, we have 7, and we have 6. This is A union B. So what about A union C? Already elements of A are A1, C4, and D. Then what of the other element C? We have A here, which is already there. We have 4. 4 is already there. 8 is not there. 9 is not there. D is already there, but 2 is not there, and 5. So this is A union C. But what about A union B intersecting A union C? Meaning we are going to form a new set of elements that they have in common. We have A's, let me shade them. We have A, we have 1, we have C, we have 4, we have D. Then what again? We have 9. I think these are all we have. Let me write the alphabet first. We have A, we have C, we have D. Then followed by the numbers. We have 1, we have 4, we have 9 in common. So you can see right here is option E. This is the answer. Then we move to the next one, which is question number 11. Question number 11, in a chemistry class, a student recorded 21.23 cm3 for the theta value of 21.32 cm3. Find the percentage error correct to 1 decimal place. Okay, what is percentage error? We have a formula for that. Percentage error is equal to the absolute measurement, divided by the actual measurement, then times 100%. Absolute measurement is just the difference between the two measures. So this is equal to the big one, which is 21.32, minus the small one, which is 21.23, divided by the actual one. This is the actual one because the student measured this instead of this. So it should be this one. This is the actual measure, 21.32. Then times 100%. If you take your calculators, evaluate the whole of this, you're going to get 0.4. exactly percent. So this is the percentage error 0.4, which we have as option B. Remember, the 0 is insignificant. The only mistake here, they're supposed to attach percentage here. Now let us move on to question number 12, which is the last question for today. In arithmetic progression, the first term is 3. Let me start by recording the data. A is the first term always, is equal to 3. Then the sum of the third and the 12th terms equal to 38.5. So what is third term? Term number 3 is equal to the first term plus 2 multiplied by the common difference. Then the 12th term, term number 12, is equal to A plus 11D. But we know that A is equal to 3, so we have to find the common difference. They say if we should add these two terms together, we're going to obtain 38.5. So let's add them together. The third term is A plus 2D, but A is 3, so we have 3 plus 2D. Then plus the 12th term, A plus 11D. A is 3 again. Then we have 11D, and this is equal to 38.5. 3 plus 3 is 6. 2 plus 11 is 13. This is equal to 38.5. Subtract 6 from both sides, you have 13D to the left equal to 32.5 if you subtract 6 from both sides. And finally, D is equal to this divided by this. That will give us 2.5. 2.5. But remember, we are looking for the 17th term. So term number 17 would be equal to A plus 16D. Always look at the difference between this number and this number is 1. Always. Just look at it here. Even here that we have 3, this must be 2. Here that we have 12, this must be 11. So you subtract 1 and multiply by D. But we know that A is 3. And we know that D is 2.5. And 16 times 2.5 is 40. And 40 plus 3 is 43. And therefore, term number 17 is equal to 43, which is option B. All right, now let us move on to question number 13 for the next tutorial. Question number 13 reads, the Venn diagram below shows the number of students who wrote biology, physics, and mathematics during NECO SSCE in a certain school. We're asked to find the number of students who wrote at least 2 subjects and the number of students in the school, respectively. All right. What does this mean to say at least? At least 2 means it could be 2 or more than 2. So let me zoom this a little bit. The 3 here, 6 and 6, represent one subject only. So this is physics only, biology only, and mathematics only. But we are talking about at least 2. But you can see here we have 7 for biology and mathematics. We have 5 for biology and physics. And we have 1 for mathematics and physics. And we have 4 for all the 3 subjects. So we are concerned with 2 or more than 2. Therefore, we are going to add these 4 numbers together in order to find the number of students that wrote at least 2 subjects. It's a very simple question. So we have 7 plus 5 plus 1 plus 4. 7 plus 5 is 12, plus 1 is 13, plus 4 is 17. So we have 17 students that wrote at least 2 subjects. But we are also asked to find the total number of students in the school. Already we have 17, therefore we are going to include 6, we are going to include 3, 6, and 4. So let's add them together. Already we have this one. So we have 17 plus 6 plus 3 plus another 6, and then plus 4. Let me group them together. I can see we have 10 here. This is 10. If I should join this one and this one, it will give us 20. And this one will give us 30. Plus this 6 will give us 36 altogether. So we have 36. So there are 36 students in that school, but only 17 students wrote at least 2 subjects. So therefore our answer would be what? 17, 36. Which option is that? 17, 36 is option D. Now let us move on to question number 14. Question number 14 reads, the third term of geometric progression sequence is 18, while the sixth term is 486. We are asked to find the first term. First term, which is term number 1, is denoted by A. Then term number 3, which is term number 3, is given by AR to the second power. And term number 6, which is sixth term, is equal to AR to the fifth power. But according to these questions, term number 3 is equal to 18, while term number 6 is equal to 486. We asked to find the first term. All right, I would like to divide term number 6 by term number 3. And this is equal to the left hand side, we have AR to the fifth power, AR to the fifth power, divided by AR squared, AR squared. This is equal to the right hand side of term number 6 is 486, and the right hand side of term number 3 is 18. So you can see that A will cancel A. R to the power of 5 divided by R to the second power, apply one of the laws of indices. 5 minus 2 is 3, so we have R to the third power. This is equal to 486 divided by 18 is 27. You take cube root of both sides, R will be equal to 3. So if R is equal to 3, how can we find term number 1? Remember, term number 1 is nothing but A. So we can use, I think let us use this equation, which is AR squared equal to 18. AR squared equal to 18. But we have seen that R is equal to 3, so we have A 3 to the second power equal to 18. And 3 squared is 9. Therefore, we can divide both sides by 9. And hence, A equal to 2, because 18 divided by 9 is equal to 2. Therefore, the first term is equal to 2. Let's check the options. We have it as option E. Question number 15. Question number 15, it reads, the area of rectangular piece of cardboard paper is 104 cm squared. If its width is 8 cm, we are asked to find the perimeter of that rectangle. So let's assume we have the rectangle right here. The area is 104 and the width is given as 8 and we don't know the length. Let's find the length. You know, if you take the length and multiply by the width, which is going to give us 8L, this is exactly the same as the area. So if you divide both sides by 8, L will be equal to 13. So if L is equal to 13, what will be the perimeter? Remember, perimeter is equal to 2 multiplied by the sum of the two side lengths, 13 and 8. And 13 and 8 will give us what? 21. 21 times 2 is 42 cm. Therefore, the perimeter is 42 cm. Let us move on to question number 16. Here is question number 16. We are asked to find the determinant of this matrix. Before you start, you should assign signs. The first term here should be positive, the second one should be negative, and last one should be positive. So you take plus 2, then you form another matrix by deleting this row and this column, which is going to give us 0, 2, 2, 3, right? You repeat the same process. We have minus 3. Form another matrix by deleting this row and this column. We have 1, 0, 2, 3. And lastly, we have plus 1. Form another matrix by deleting this and this. We have 1, 0, 0, 2. So now let us compute for the determinant. The first one is 2 multiplied by 0 times 3 is 0 minus 2 times 2 is 4 minus 3. 1 times 3 is equal to 3 minus 0 times 2 is 0 plus 1. We have 1 times 2 is 2. 0 times 0 is 0. Let's simplify. 0 minus 4 is minus 4. And minus 4 times 2 is minus 8. So this is minus 8. 3 minus 0 is 3. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. Plus 2 minus 0 is 2 times 1 is 2. And this is equal to negative 8, negative 9 is negative 17. And negative 17 plus 2 is negative 15. So this is negative 15, which is option A. Now let us move on to question number 17. All right, here is question number 17. It reads, a helicopter takes 3 hours from Kano to Lagos at a constant speed. How long does the same journey take another helicopter at a quarter of the speed of the first helicopter? All right, let me do that using shortcut. Then I'll show you the step-by-step on how to work it out. Suppose we have Kano here and we have Lagos here. We don't know the distance apart, but it is constant. It takes a particular helicopter 3 hours to cover this journey at a particular speed. So what do you expect another helicopter if it takes quarter of the speed of this one? The journey will be partitioned into 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And every single one will cover 3 hours. 3 here, 3 here, 3 here, and 3 here. So if you combine all the 3s, we have 12 hours, right? Which is option D. But let me show you the step-by-step on how to work it out. Remember that speed is equal to distance divided by the time. This is the formula. So let's assume the first helicopter, let's call it speed number 1. Distance will not change. Kano to Lagos will be forever the same, irrespective of whether you move faster than the other. So we leave it as D. But it takes the first helicopter how many hours? 3 hours. So what about the second helicopter? Let's call it S2. This is equal to the distance will not change, but the time will change. So let me call it T2. But according to the question, this S2, the speed number 2, takes quarter of the first speed. So S divided by 4. So instead, we can replace this one with S divided by 4. Remember that this is S1, sorry. So instead of S2, we have S1 divided by 4 equal to D divided by T2. And we can now multiply both sides by 4. This implies that S1 is equal to 4D divided by T2. Our main goal is to find this T2. So you can see that this equation and this equation are all expressed in terms of S1. So we can equate their right-hand sides. Therefore, D divided by 3 is equal to 4D divided by T2. And how do you make T2 the subject? I can take reciprocal of both sides. So we have 3 divided by D equal to T2 divided by 4D. Then we can multiply both sides by 4D just to find T2. And hence T2 is equal to 3 times 4D divided by D. The D's will cancel. And 4 times 3 is equal to 12. Therefore, T2 is equal to 12 hours. You see how to work it out? And hence, our answer is what? Option D. Now, let us move on to the question number 18. Question number 18 reads, if 1 is added to the denominator of a fraction, the fraction becomes 1 over 2. When 3 is added to both the numerator and denominator, the fraction becomes 3 over 4. Find the fraction. So let's start by guess and check. If I should consider this fraction 2 over 3 as the answer, what happens if you add 1 to the denominator? Will it give us 1 over 2? Let's try it. it will be 2 over 6 because 5 plus 1 is 6. And this to the lowest term will be 1 divided by 3, which is not 1 over 2. Let's check the other one. I will show you the working. If it is 1 over 2, we cannot add 1 to the denominator because it will become 1 over 3, which is different from 1 over 2. Let's move to the next one. 3 over 5, if you add 1 to the 5, it becomes 3 over 6. And 3 can go into 3 one time, and it can go into 6 two times. So we have 1 over 2, which is this one. So this is a potential candidate, but we are not done yet. Because what if 3 is added to the numerator and denominator? Let's do that. 3 plus 3 is 6. 3 plus 5 is 8. 2 can divide 6 3 times. 2 can divide 8 4 times. So 3 over 4. Is it 3 over 4? Yes. Therefore, our right option is C, which is 3 over 5. Well, let me show you the working step by step. Let's assume that the fraction is x divided by y. The question stated that if we should add 1 to the denominator, it will become 1 over 2. Therefore, x divided by y plus 1 will be what? 1 over 2. And from here, we can cross multiply. X times 2 is 2x, equal to y plus 1 times 1 is still y plus 1. And you can bring y to the left hand side. This becomes 2x minus y equal to 1. Let me call this one equation number 1. Then again, it's stated that if 3 should be added to the top and to the bottom, that is x plus 3 divided by y plus 3, that will give us which fraction? 3 over 4. 3 over 4. So let's cross multiply. 4 times 3 plus x, that will give us 4x plus 12 equals, this times 3 will give us 3y plus 9. Bring everything to the left hand side and take constant to the other side. That is 4x minus 3y equals 9 minus 12 is negative 3. This is our second equation. Let me bring the first equation, which is 2x minus y equal to 1. This is our equation 1, remember? So what if I decide to multiply equation 1 by 2 just to have 4x? We can do that. So this becomes 4x minus 2y equal to 2. So you can see that this equation and this equation can be combined together using elimination. So 4x minus 4x is 0. Negative 3y minus 2y. That will give us negative 3y plus 2y, which is negative y, equals this minus this will give us what? Minus 5. Multiply both sides by negative, y will be equal to 5. So if y is equal to 5, what will be the value of x? I think we can use this equation. 2x minus y equal to 1. 2x minus y equal to 1. But y equal to 5, so we have 2x minus 5 equal to 1. Take 5 to the other side, we have 2x equal to 1 plus 5 is 6. Divide both sides by 2, and x will be equal to 3. So remember, our fraction is x divided by y, which means what? 3 divided by 5. And 3 divided by 5 is option C. Now let us move on to question number 19. Question number 19 reads, y is partly constant and partly varies as x. When y is equal to 2, x is equal to 3. And when y is equal to 5, x equal to 6. We're asked to find the relationship between x and y. Alright, the relationship between y and x in partial variation is y equal to a certain constant, k, multiplied by x, plus another constant, let us call it c. Alright, now we are going to form a system of equation, solve for k and c, then we substitute them back. You can see that when y is equal to 2, x is equal to 3. So let's substitute them. When y is equal to 2, x is equal to 3. So we have 3 times k, which is 3k. Then plus c. This is our first equation. Then when y is equal to 5, x is equal to 6. So we have 5 equal to 6k plus another c. This is our second equation. I would like to subtract this equation in order to eliminate c. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. 3 minus 6 is negative 3, negative 3k. And c minus c is 0. If we divide both sides by negative 3, k will be equal to 1. This is the value of k. Then to find the value of c, we can substitute k equal to 1 in either equation 1 or equation 2. Let me use equation 2. 5 equal to 6k plus c. But we have seen that k is equal to 1. So we have 5 equal to 6 times 1 is still 6 plus c. If you subtract 6 from both sides, you can see that c will be equal to 5 minus 6. And c equal to negative 1. Then we plug them back. Remember, the relationship is y equal to kx plus c, for which k is 1 and c is negative 1. So we have y equals k is 1 and 1 times x is x. Then c is negative 1. So this is the relationship between y and x. Let's check the options, which is option B, y equal to x minus 1. Now let us move on to question number 20. All right, here is question number 20. We are asked to find a quadratic equation whose roots are 2 and negative 1 over 3. So whenever you are given roots of a quadratic equation and you're asked to form the equation, just use the formula x squared minus the sum of the roots. You add them together, you multiply by x, then you add, you take their product, multiplication, and you set everything to be equal to 0. Okay, let's substitute. This is x squared minus the sum, meaning we should add the two roots together. 2 plus negative 1 over 3 is the same thing as 2 minus 1 over 3. Then you times by x, you add, you multiply them. 2 multiplied by negative 1 over 3. This is equal to 0. 2 minus 1 over 3 is simply the same thing as taking 3 multiplied by 2, which is 6. Then you subtract 1, you have 5. That is 5 over 3. So x squared minus 5 over 3 times x. Then if you multiply this together, you're going to get negative 2 over 3, which will overpower plus sign. We have minus 2 over 3. This is equal to 0. To clear the fractions, we can multiply every single term by 3. 3 times x squared is 3x squared minus this times 3, we have 5x, minus this times 3 is just 2. The whole of this equal to 0. Our quadratic equation that has just two roots is 3x squared minus 5x minus 2. 3x squared minus 5x minus 2, which is option B. Question number 21. Question number 21, we are asked to use this diagram to answer question 21 and question number 23. Just study the diagram. You can see we have two graphs here, a quadratic graph and a linear graph, and they intersect at some points, this and this. So let's go to the questions. So question number 21 reads, which of the following gives the points of intersection of the linear graph and the quadratic graph? The points where the two curves intersected. So you can see that the linear graph and the quadratic graph intersected at these 2 points. And what are the coordinates? The coordinate of the intersection, you can see the value of x at this point is negative 1, but the value of y is 0 at that point. Then coming down here, you can see x is 3 and y is what, 7, which is between 6 and 8. So the points of intersection are negative 1, 0, then 3, 7. Negative 1, 0, then 3, 7, which is option E. Let's go to question number 22. Question number 22 reads, the equation of the line of symmetry is, what is a line of symmetry? A line of symmetry is a line that divides the curve into two equal parts. And we are talking about quadratic curve. So to find the line of symmetry, you need to take the roots, add them together and divide by 2. We have root here and we have another root here, -1 and 2. The points where the curve crosses x-axis are said to be the roots. So if you add them together, that is -1 plus 2, and you divide by 2, this will be 1/2 or 0.5. So 0.5 or 1/2 is somewhere here. Is the line that divides this curve into 2 equal parts and is a value of x. Therefore, we say that x is equal to 1/2 or 0.5, which is option C. Now question number 23. Question number 23, we're asked to find the equation of the quadratic graph. So the quadratic graph is here, and you know that the roots, that is the solution to that quadratic equation, are -1 and +2. So x could either be -1 or +2. X equal to -1 or +2. So to find the quadratic equation used to form that graph, we take x squared, we subtract the sum, that is -1 plus 2, then we multiply by x, then we add, we multiply the 2 roots again, then we set everything to be equal to 0. -1 plus 2 is +1 times x is x, so we have x squared minus x. Then -1 times 2 is -2. This is equal to 0. This is just the quadratic equation. X squared minus x minus 2. X squared minus x minus 2, which is option A. Now let us move on to question number 24. Question number 24 reads, which of the regions U, V, X, Y, and Z, which of them, you can see them right here, satisfies the inequalities y between 0 to 2, y greater than 0 and less than 2, y less than 3 plus x, and also x less than 0. Okay, I will use coloring. Y between 0 to 2 means what? You can see this is x-axis and this is y-axis. Between 0 to 2, this is the region. We are going to shade it. Something like this. Then y less than 3 plus x. Already we have a graph of y equal to 3 plus x. So anything less than that will be below the line. So we are going to shade something below it. I just want to find the points of intersection between the 3 shades. Then lastly, we have x less than 0. This is where x is equal to 0, right? Anything less than 0 means negative values from the origin to the left hand side. We are going to shade everything here to the left. Everything to the left. Then we are going to find the darkest area. You can see that the darkest area is Z, right? Just look at it. This is the darkest area. Therefore, Z is the region that satisfies the 3 inequalities, which is option E. Now let us move on to question number 25. All right, here is question number 25. The question reads, which of the following inequalities represent the number line shown below? All right, let's examine it. You can see all these values are values of x. And you can see it started from -1 to the right. And all values to the right are greater or equal to -1. And hence the inequality is x greater or equal to -1, which is option what? E. Let's move to question number 26. All right, question number 26, we are asked to solve the equation 2x plus 8 equal to 21x squared. This is a quadratic equation. Let us rearrange it a little bit by taking all terms to the right hand side. Already we have 21x squared there. As 2x crosses over, it becomes -2x. As 8 crosses over, it becomes 8. The whole of this equal to 0. I think let us use general formula to solve this problem, for which the leading coefficient is 21, the coefficient of x is equal to -2, and the constant is what? -8. And what will be the value of x? X will be equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Let's plug in everything. Minus b, it means what? Minus 2, which is plus 2. So we have plus 2 plus or minus the square root of b squared -2 squared minus 4 times a times c divided by what? 2 times a, 2 times 21. Let's simplify. This is equal to 2 plus or minus the square root of -2 squared is 4. Then I will multiply all of this together. We have minus 4 multiplied by 21 multiplied by -8. This will give us plus 672. Divide by 2 times 21 is 42. I think we can further simplify it as 2 plus or minus the square root of 676 divided by 42, right? So the square root of 676 is equal to 26. So we have 2 plus or minus 26 divided by 42. So the two values of x are x either equal to 2 plus 26 divided by 42 or 2 minus 26 divided by 42. Let us simplify them separately. This is equal to 28 divided by 42 or minus 24 divided by 42. And to their lowest terms, x is either equal to this to the lowest term is 2 over 3 or x equal to this to the lowest term is -4 over 7, -4 over 7. And hence this is the solution. X could be 2 over 3 or -4 over 7. Let's check out, which is option B. Now let us move on to question number 27. All right, here is question number 27. It reads, in an examination, a candidate was asked to draw a graph of y equal to x squared plus 6x minus 27 and a linear graph on the same axis such that their intersection points, the linear and the quadratic graph, will give a solution to the quadratic equation x squared plus 5x minus 29 equal to 0. What is the equation of the linear graph? All right, you know that the linear graph and this can only be intersected if we equate the right hand side of this equation by the right hand side of the linear equation. And the linear equation is given as y equal to mx plus c. This is the slope-intercept form of a linear function or equation. So now let us equate the right hand side. The right hand side of this equation is x squared plus 6x minus 27. Therefore, x squared plus 6x minus 27 is equal to mx plus c. If you solve for x here, it will determine the points of intersection, that is the value of x at that point. So let us collect the like terms. We have x squared plus 6x. As this crosses over, it becomes negative mx. Then we have minus 27. As this crosses over, it becomes negative c. The whole of this equal to 0. You can see that this is x squared plus, we can factor out x. So we have 6 minus m inside. Then here we can factor out negative sign. We have 27 plus c. The whole of this equal to 0. But according to the question, it stated that the solution to this problem, which is a quadratic equation, Determine the points of intersection of this linear and quadratic graph. You know, if you solve this one, you're going to obtain those points of intersections, and they are said to be the solution to this quadratic equation, and hence we can relate them. And this quadratic equation is x squared plus 5x minus 29. X squared plus 5x minus 29. I think, yes, equal to 0. So let us relate them. We have no problem with this one. They are all the same. The coefficient of x here is 6 minus 5, while this one is 5. So by relating the two, we have that 6 minus m must be equal to 5. And you can see the constant here. We have this to be equal to this. And therefore, 27 plus c must be 29. So if you take this one to the other side, it becomes positive m. You bring 5 backward, it becomes 6 minus 5, and m equal to 1. And c here is equal to 29 minus 27, and c equal to 2. So what is the equation? Remember, the equation is y equal to mx plus c. So all you have to do is to plug them back. We have y equal to m is 1. We only have x. C is 2. And hence, this is the linear equation, y equal to x plus 2, which is option E. Now let us move on to question number 28. Question number 28 reads, what must be added to 2y squared plus 7y to make it a perfect squared? Okay, I would like to add k. Let the number be k. So it becomes 2y squared plus 7y plus k. So if this is a perfect squared quadratic expression, the discriminant must be equal to 0. So d must be equal to 0. And what is d? d is nothing but b squared minus 4ac. Let's compute b squared minus 4ac and set it to be equal to 0. Remember that b is the coefficient of the middle term, so it becomes 7 squared minus 4 times a is 2, c is k. This must be equal to 0 for this to be a perfect squared. 7 squared is 49 minus 4 times 2 times, this is 8k, equal to 0. 49 equals positive 8k. Divide both sides by 8, and k must be 49 divided by 8. This is the value of k. And this is not the only way to do that. You can try other methods. We have it as option D. Now let us move on to question number 29. Question number 29, we are asked to solve the simultaneous equations x plus 2y equal to negative 4, 2x plus 3y equal to negative 5. Before we start, I would like to multiply the first equation by 2, just to have the same coefficient of x. So it becomes 2x plus 4y equals negative 8. Then I will bring the second equation, which is 2x plus 3y equals negative 5. Let's subtract the two equations. This minus this is 0. This minus this is y equals negative 8 minus 5 will be negative 8 plus 5, which is negative 3. And hence y is equal to negative 3. And let's use this equation, x plus 2y equal to negative 4. X plus 2y equals negative 4. Already y is negative 3, so x plus 2 times negative 3 is equal to negative 4. X minus 6 equals negative 4. And finally, x equal to 6 minus 4 if you take this one to the other side. And x is equal to what? 2. Therefore, x is equal to 2 and y equals negative 3, which is option C. Now let us move on to question number 30. Question number 30, we are asked to factorize completely 12a squared minus 3 times a minus 3b all squared. So I would like to expand this one first. So I have 12a squared minus 3, but the expansion of this to the power of 2 will be the first term squared, a squared, minus, because of that minus sign, 2 times a is 2a. times 3b is 6ab. 6ab. Then 3b squared is 9b squared. 9b squared. Then we expand. This is 12a squared minus 3a squared minus 3 times the negative is positive. 3 times 6 is 18 ab. The minus plus is minus. 3 times 9 is 27 b squared. 12 minus 3 is 9, so we have 9a squared plus 18ab minus 27b squared. All these terms contain a factor of 9 because 9 can divide 9, 18, and 27. So we can factor out 9 inside. We have a squared plus 2ab minus 3b squared, because 9 divided by 9 is 1, 18 divided by 9 is 2, and 27 divided by 9 is 3. Okay, this is what you need to factorize again. This is equal to 9 multiplied by, let me see, two numbers that we can multiply to get negative 3. And when we add them together, we get positive 2. I think it's 3 and 1. So we can replace this one with 3 minus 1. This is a squared plus 3ab minus ab. You know, 3ab minus ab will still give us 2ab. Then we have the last term as minus 3b squared. This is equal to 9. What we have between these two terms in common is a. So I will factor out a. Inside, a squared divided by a is a. 3ab divided by a is 3b. Then here I think we have minus b in common. Minus b. Inside we take minus ab divided by negative b is just positive a. Then the whole of this divided by this will give us 3b plus 3b. So you can see that these terms are exactly the same. So we further break it down. We have 9 a plus b, a plus 3b, sorry. Then we have times a minus b. A minus b. Then we open the bracket. We have 9 multiplied by a plus 3b multiplied by a minus b, fully factorized. So let's check the options. This is exactly option A. 9 multiplied by a plus 3b times a minus b. Now let us move on to question number 31. Question number 31, we are given that t is equal to 2 pi multiplied by the square root of L divided by G. We are asked to find the value of t when pi is equal to 22 divided by 7, L is equal to 16, and G is equal to 10. This is nothing but substitution. So t will be equal to 2 multiplied by pi, which is 22 divided by 7, then multiplied by the square root of L, which is 16, divided by G, which is 10. If you simplify this, you get 2 times 22 is 44, divided by 7, multiplied by the square root of 16 divided by 10 is 1.6. 44 divided by 7 is equal to 6.28571. Then you multiply that by the square root of 1.6, and square root of 1.6 is equal to 1.26491. Then you multiply the result. This is equal to 7.95 in 2 decimal places, which is option D. Question number 32, we are asked to expand x minus 2 multiplied by x plus 6. So I will do that in 2 different ways to show you the traditional way and also the shortcut. So you take x, you distribute it over x plus 6. You also take negative 2, you distribute it over x plus 6. Then you distribute x times x will give us x squared. X times 6 is 6x. Move to the next bracket. Minus 2 times x is minus 2x. Minus 2 times 6 is minus 12. The middle terms are like terms. 6 minus 2 is 4. So this is x squared plus 4x, then minus 12, which is which option? Option E. Well, let me show you the shortcut. Remember that this resembles what? Quadratic factors. I remember if you wish to factorize a quadratic function that is factorable, you think of two numbers that you can multiply together to get the constant, and when you add them together, you get the coefficient of the middle term. So, this is x squared. If you take this, you add it to this, negative 2 plus 6 will give us 4. So this is 4. Attach x. Then negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. As simple as that. Let us move on to question number 33. Question number 33, we are asked to simplify the whole of this expression. This is factorable. This is also factorable. So let us factorize them. To the top, we have x squared minus 8x plus 12. We're going to think of two numbers that we can multiply together to get 12. But when we add them together, we get negative 8. And the numbers are negative 6 and negative 2. So we can factorize it as x minus 6, x minus 2, because this time this is positive 12 and this plus this is negative 8. Then you divide by 3 multiplied by another quadratic function that can be factorized. Think of two numbers you can multiply to get negative 6, but when you add them together you get positive 1, which is the coefficient of x. The numbers are minus 2 and what? 3. This time this is this, and this plus this is what? 1. So we have x minus 2, x plus 3. Remember, we have another one here, which is 9 times x plus 3. Multiply by 9 times x plus 3. I can even rationalize it as divide by 1, because dividing by 1 will not change anything. So let's cancel something. This will cancel this because they are exactly the same. This will cancel this. And you know that 3 can go into 3 exactly 1 time, and it can go into 9 exactly 3 times. So the only thing we have is this 3 and this factor. So we have this to be 3 multiplied by x minus 6, which is option D. Now let us move on to question number 34. Question 34, we are asked to find the angular difference in longitude between these two towns. Town A is on the latitude 47 degrees south and longitude 54 degrees east, and town B is on the latitude 47 degrees south, so they are on the same latitude but different longitude. The longitude here is 147, but the direction are all the same, east. So remember, if you are on the same direction, subtract. If you are on opposite direction, you add. So we take 147 degrees, we subtract 54. Remember, we are looking for the difference in longitude. This is longitude, and this will give us what? 93 degrees, which is this option. But I can show you this using diagram. Suppose this is on Earth. We have north here, we have the south here, we have the east here, and we have the west here. All right, the first town is on the latitude 47 degrees south. So along the south, we have something like this, roughly. This is 47 degrees south. and its longitude is what? 54 east. So let's assume this is 54 east, 54 degrees east. So the points of intersection is this. So this determines town A. Then the second one is on the same latitude, so that we don't have to construct another latitude, but on the longitude of 147. So longitude of 147 should be somewhere here. So you see the point of intersection is this. So this is point town B. So the equator is somewhere here at the center. So we can connect this one to this and this one. Remember that all angles are measured from the center. So let's assume we have this point here. So according to this question, it stated that from the center, because we are going to use this line to measure the angle, from the center down to town B is what? 147. But from the center also down to town A is 54. So this small angle right here, which is this, is 54. But the entire angle from the center to B is 147. But we are looking for this angle in between them. So therefore you have to subtract angle here from the total angle for you to get the difference angle in between them. So this is why we take the larger angle and we subtract the smaller angle. Let's move on to question number 35. Question number 35. In the diagram below, O is the center of the cycle, PQR. If angle P is equal to 64 degrees, which is this one, and angle R is equal to 46 degrees, which is this one, we are asked to measure or find the measure of angle POQ from P down to O, which is the center, and also to Q. Meaning we are looking for this angle right here. So let me connect it. This is center, is also to the center. But we are looking for this angle right here at the back, which is angle POQ. So remember from the cycle theorem, it stated that angle subtended to the center, this is an angle subtended to the center from this chord PQ, is twice the angle subtended to the circumference from the same chord. So this is angle subtended to the circumference, which is 46. This particular angle here is twice this one, according to cycle theorem. So therefore, this angle we are looking for is going to be twice as big as 46. And if you multiply 46 by 2, you're going to obtain 92 degrees. So that angle is 92 degrees. Now let us move on to question number 36. Question number 36, we are given two similar triangles. We have the bigger one and the smaller one. And we're asked to find the measure of the side length of L on the bigger triangle. So what you should remember is that the ratio of the side lengths of these triangles is always the same. So we can take the side length here, which is the opposite side, which is L. We divide by the adjacent side, which is 420. This must be equivalent to 18 divided by 24. And to find the value of L, we can multiply both sides by 420. So L is equal to 420 multiplied by 18 divided by 24. Just hit your calculator and find the answer. And this is equal to 315. So L is equal to 315, which is option E. Now let us move on to question number 37. Question number 37, we are asked to find the gradient of the curve 2x squared plus 5x minus 1 at a point where x equal to 4. So you have to differentiate the function first, dy over dx, applying power rule. the power will drop down to multiply. We have 2 times 2 is 4. Then x raised to the power of 2 minus 1, which is still 1. Then plus derivative of 5x is 5. Derivative of constant is 0. So all you have to do is to plug in x equal to 4 here. So we have this to be 4 multiplied by 4, then plus 5. 4 multiplied by 4 is 16, and 16 plus 5 is equal to 21. So it is option E. Let's move on to question number 38. An interior angle of a regular polygon is 108 degrees. Find the number of sides of that polygon. So if a polygon is regular, it means all the interior angles have the same measure. If it is 108, all the other angles will have the same measure, 108. So what can you remember about our regular polygon? To find the measure of every single angle in a regular polygon, you can always take the formula, which is n minus 2 multiplied by 180 degrees divided by n. This will give you the measure of every single angle. But we are giving it as what? 108, so we equate it to be 108. Let's cross multiply and expand the bracket. N multiplied by 180 is 180n. Then minus 2 times 180 is 360. And this is equal to n multiplied by 108 is 108n. Let's collect the like terms. We have 180n. If this crosses over, it becomes negative 108n. If you take 360 to the other side, it becomes positive 360. If you subtract this, you're going to have 72. 72n equal to 360. Divide both sides by 72, n is equal to 360 divided by 72, and n is equal to 5. Therefore, that regular polygon has 5 side lengths, which is option B. Question number 39 reads, ABC is an isosceles triangle where E and D are points on the sides of AC and BC respectively, such that line BE is perpendicular to the line AC and line ED is perpendicular to the line BC. If angle ABE is 68 degrees, where angle A is equal to angle C, we are asked to find the measure of angle CED. I've already constructed the diagram here. Let me show you everything. It is a triangle ABC according to them. And we have 2 other points, E and D, that lies on the sides of AC and BC respectively. So you can see a point E here on the side of AC, and you can see that D is on the side of BC. And it's stated that if you draw a straight line from B down to E, you can see I have done that, B down to E, it will be perpendicular to the line AC. And you can see line AC here. What does it mean to be a perpendicular? They will meet at a right angle, which is 90 degrees. So this angle right here is 90 degrees. And if you draw a line from E down to D, it will be perpendicular to the line BC, which is also 90 degrees here. So we are asked to find angle CED. You can see this is C, this is E, this is D. So we are referring to this particular angle. Let me mark it. This particular angle is what we are looking for. All right, let's concentrate on this right angle triangle, because you can see that we have a right angle here. It means it is a right angle triangle. So what will be the measure of this angle? Already the question stated that angle A and angle C are exactly the same. So I don't think we even need to find the measure. Let me just call it X. And this must be X because it is an isosceles triangle, right? And we have learned that in a right angle triangle, the 2 other sides added to 90 degrees, right? Because 90 plus 90 will give us 180. So just observe something. We have angle X here. We have angle 90. we have angle X, we have angle 90, which means that this missing angle must be 68. Oh, so the two triangles are congruent to each other. So this is 68. We don't have to calculate for anything, unless if you wish to do that. So it is 68, which is option E. Now let us move on to question number 40. Question number 40 reads, in the figure below, O is the center of a cycle. We're asked to calculate the measure of angle X. And you can see that right here. So let me zoom it a little bit so that you see everything. First of all, you should consider this. What's this? This is a triangle, right? Just observe there is an extension here, which means that this angle, if we should find this angle, it is going to be an exterior angle of that triangle. And remember, exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the two interior opposite angles, which implies that if we should add 34 and 40 together, it will give us this particular angle shaded red. So let's find the angle. So 34 plus 40 will give us 74. So this particular angle is 74 degrees. And what do you think of this angle? They are directly opposite, right? So if this is X, this must be X. So let me call this X. We're moving. All right, remember one theorem which stated that angles subtended to the circumference from the same chord are exactly the same. So look at a chord here. This is a chord. It subtends an angle to the circumference, which is 40. And you can see the same chord subtended an angle to C. So this means that angle C must be 40 as well. All right. So this is 40 degrees. So we are almost done. Remember, we are looking for X. Therefore, the sum of these three angles must be equal to 180, which implies that X is equal to 180 minus 74 minus 40. And this is equal to 66 degrees. Which option is that? Option B. Now let us move on to question number 41. Question number 41 reads, in the diagram below, O is the center of the cycle. The length of line BD is equal to the length of line BC. Already they have marked it, you can see, which means that this particular triangle is an isosceles triangle. All right. And the ABC is 54 degrees, this particular angle here. We are asked to find the measure of the angle ACD. So this particular angle, let me mark it. This is what we are looking for. All right, let me zoom it a little bit. Let's call this X. Let's call this X because the base angles of an isosceles triangle, they are always the same. And you know that the sum of these three angles must be what? 180. Therefore, 2x must be equal to 180 minus 54, right? And x is equal to 180 minus 54 divided by 2 if you divide both sides by 2. So let's find the value of x. The value of x is 63 exactly, 63 degrees. All right, you should remember another cycle theorem which stated that diameter of a cycle sustains an angle of 90 degrees to the circumference, which means that the entire angle here is 90 degrees. But we already have an x, which is 63 degrees. So 63 plus that missing angle that we are looking for, let me call it y. X plus y must be equal to 90 degrees according to the theorem. But x is 60, therefore y is equal to 90 minus 63. 63, right? And 90 minus 63 is 27 degrees, which is option E. Now let us move on to question number 42. All right, question number 42, we are asked to determine the value of 7x in the diagram below. So you can see because of this mark, it indicates that this is an isosceles triangle, right? And the base angles must be the same. So let's start by filling in the angles. This angle and this angle, they are exactly equal because they are opposite. So this is 2x. And because the base angles are the same, this must be 2x. This angle is also directly opposite, so we call this 5x. And the sum of these three angles will give us 180. So what do? We say that 5 plus 2 is 7, 7 plus 2 is 9. So we have 9x's equals what? 180 degrees. Divide both sides by 9. X is equal to 180. Divide by 9. And x is equal to what? 20 degrees. So x represents 20 degrees, but we are looking for 7x. Therefore, we can multiply both sides by 7. 7 times x is 7x equals 7 times 20 is 140 degrees. Therefore, 7x is 140, which is option E. Now let us move on to question number 43. Question number 43, in the diagram below, KTN, let us locate it. KTN is a tangent of a cycle at T. You should know that a tangent is a line that touches a cycle at exactly one point. We're asked to find the measure of the angle NTA. Let us locate it. We have N, we have T, we have A here. Therefore, they are referring to this particular angle. Let me call it X. You should remember that that angle formed between a chord and a tangent line is always equal to that interior angle which is subtended by the same chord to the circumference. So this is the angle subtended by that same chord to the circumference, which is 65, and hence this angle must be 65. Very simple question from alternate segment theorem, and this is option C. Now let us move on to question number 44. Question number 44, it reads, an airplane flies from town P on a bearing of 45 degrees to another town Q, a distance of 200 kilometers away. It then changes its course and flies to another town R on a bearing of 120 degrees. If R is directly east of P, we're asked to calculate the distance between P down to R, correct to the nearest kilometer. Okay, let us make a rough sketch of this one. You should know that the plane started from what? Town P. So let's assume we have a town P right here. Let me call this P. It travels to another town Q on a bearing of what? 45 degrees. So let's assume it is somewhere here. This is town Q. Distance is 200 kilometers apart, right? And the angle here is 45 degrees. And from Q, the plane travels to another town R on a bearing of 120 degrees. And according to the question, town R is directly east of P. So where is east of P? This is east of P, this parallel line, heading to what? Town R. So let's connect this point to this point. So according to this question, this particular angle is 120 degrees. We're asked to find the distance from P down to R. All right. You should remember that angle on a straight line is 180. Already we have 120 here, which implies that we have 60 degrees here. And this particular angle right here is equal to this one because they are alternate angles. So this is 45. And if you join the two together, 60 and 45, you have 105 degrees. And because from north to east is 90 degrees, it implies that this particular angle must be 45 degrees because 45 is 90. Then we need this particular angle again. You should know that the sum of all the three angles in a triangle equal to 180. So to find this particular angle, you can take away this and this from 180. And if you do that, you're going to get 30 degrees. All right, we need to find this side length. Let me call it X. By using sine rule, we have X, that is the side we are looking for, divide by the sine of that angle opposite to it, which is 105. then this must be equal to, since we have this side length, we can use it. We have 200 divided by sine of 30. And from here we can cross multiply. We have x to be equal to 200 multiplied by sine of 105 divided by sine of 30 degrees. So let me use my calculator and press everything. X is equal to 386 because they say to the nearest kilometer. So we have 386 kilometer, which is option B. All right, question number 45 reads, if the angle of depression of a boy standing on the ground from the top of a house is 72 degrees, what is the angle of elevation of the top of the house from the boy? Okay, let us make a rough sketch of this, though I know they must be the same. 72, 72, so it is option C, but let me show you why. Suppose we have a boy here standing, and we have a vertical wall here or a house from the same ground. So from the top to his eyes is something like this. And in both cases, we have line of sight, we have line of sight here. So the moment you hear this word from, is very important. That is where you're going to calculate the angle. So the angle of depression from the top, this is the top. Angle of depression, meaning you should look down. This is the angle we are talking about, is 72. Then if you're talking about angle of elevation, this is angle of elevation. If you look at this, this is what? Transversal line, and we have two parallel lines. Therefore, this angle must be 72 because they are alternate angles. Let us move on to question number 46. Question number 46 reads, if cosine theta is equal to 0.8, where theta is between 0 to 90 degrees, we're asked to find tangent of theta. Okay, let me show you how you can work it out. Cosine theta is equal to 0.8, but 0.8 is the same thing as 8 divided by 10. And we can still write it to the lowest term because 2 can divide 8 4 times and it can divide 10 5 times. So let us draw a right angle triangle. Suppose we have a right angle triangle here, and this is our angle of reference. Cosine is what? Adjacent divided by the hypotenuse, and this is the adjacent side, and this is the hypotenuse. So what will be the measure of the adjacent side? It will be the square root of hypotenuse squared, that is 25, minus the adjacent squared, that is 16, because 14 times 14 is 16. And 25 minus 16 is 9, square root of 9 is 3, which means that the adjacent side is 3. So we are looking for tangent of theta. Tangent of theta is what? Opposite divided by the adjacent. The opposite is 3, the adjacent is 4. So the solution to this problem is 3 over 4. 3 over 4 is option B. Let us move on to question number 47. Question number 47 reads, a ladder x meter long leans against a vertical pole of 12 meter, making an angle of 54 degrees with the horizontal ground. We're asked to calculate the value of x correct to 3 significant figures. There's an error in this question, but let me show you why. Suppose we have a vertical wall here, and this vertical wall is 12 meter. Then we have a ladder which leans against the vertical wall, something like this. Suppose this is our ladder. You know it is going to be on the same ground level. This angle formed between the horizontal ground is what? 54 degrees. So this is 54 degrees. And we are told that the length of this ladder is x. And we're asked to find the length of the ladder, right? So traditionally, we don't expect this ladder to lean against this vertical pole at the top, but somewhere within the middle, right? But well, let us just find the value of x. You can see that this is hypotenuse, this is opposite. Sine of that angle, which is 54, is equal to what? Opposite divided by the hypotenuse. And if you make x the subject, it will be x equal to 12 divided by sine of 54. So now let us plug this into a calculator, and this is 14.8. 14.8. What is the unit? Meter. And which option is that? Option B. And there should be meter here, please. Question number 48 reads, if 1.109 liters of water is poured into a cylindrical container of base radius 4.2 cm, find the level of the water correct to two significant figures. All right. Suppose we have a cylinder right here, and let's assume the water which is poured here is within this level. So we are looking for the height of that water level. Then the radius is given as 4.2, and the volume is what? 1.109. 1.109. This is the volume of the water, but remember the formula of the volume is equal to what? Pi r squared h. But since we are looking for h, we make it the subject by dividing both sides by pi r squared. So h is equal to v divided by pi r squared. So now let us substitute everything. We have h equal to the volume is given as 1.109 divided by pi. You know, pi is approximately 3.1415 and so on, but in Nigeria commonly we use 22 divided by 7. Please use 22 divided by 7 if you are in Nigeria, but if you are outside Nigeria, you can use 3.141. So I will use 22 divided by 7 for pi, then multiply by the radius squared, which is 4.2 squared. So let me use my calculator and simplify the bottom first. This is equal to 4.2 squared times 22 divided by 7 is 55.44. So we have 1.109 divided by 55.44. Then we divide. This is equal to 0.020036, but they said in what? Two significant figures. And to round this to two significant figures, we have 0.02. So this is our final answer, 0.02 cm, which is option A. Now let us move on to question number 49. Question number 49, we are asked to calculate the mean deviation of the following scores, 4, 5, 3, 2, and 1. What is mean deviation? Mean deviation is nothing but the summation of the absolute deviation from the mean, xi's minus x bar, divided by n. This is just the formula, where x bar is the mean. So let us calculate the mean. Remember that the mean, x bar, is equal to what? Summation of xi's divided by n. And xi's are this: x1, x2, x3, x4, and x5. So we are going to add them all and divide by 5. So you can see that 4 and 5 will give us 9. 9 and 1 will give us 10. And 10 plus 3 plus 5 will give us 15. So altogether we have 15. Divide by their total number, they are 5 in number. If you divide, you get 3. So now let us calculate the mean deviation. Mean deviation will be the sum of all the differences between x values and the mean divided by the total number of items we have. So 4 minus 3 will give us 1. That is the difference, 1. 5 minus 3 will give us 2, plus 2. 3 minus 3 will give us 0. Then the difference between 2 and 3 is 1. you know, you have to take the absolute value. Whether you take 2 minus 3, which is -1, you have to take absolute value of -1. Then finally, the difference between 1 and 3 is 2. Then you divide by the total number, which is 5. You can see that this is 3, this is 3. 3 plus 3 will give us 6. So we have 6 divided by 5. And 6 divided by 5 is equal to 1.2, which is option A. Now let us move on to question number 50. Question number 50, we are asked to find the probability that an integer selected from the set of numbers here, 1 to 30, is a prime number. Okay, you know that probability is what? The expected outcome divided by the sample space, or the total number of items you have. So we have to first of all find the set of prime numbers among the set of numbers. A prime number is a number that has only two factors, 1 and itself, meaning the number can only be divided by 1 and itself. You know, it is greater than 1. So the first prime number, the smallest one, is 2, followed by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. I think between 1 to 30, these are the only prime numbers we have. Let me see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 in number. So we have 10 prime numbers. So the probability would be 10 out of 30. And 10 out of 30 will be 1 divided by 3 to the lowest term, which is option E. Now let us move on to question number 51. Question number 51 reads, 2 balls are taken one after the other from a bag without replacement. If the bag contains 4 red balls and 6 blue balls, what is the probability that they are of different colors? All right, suppose we have a bag like this, and it happens that we have 4 red balls and we have 6 blue balls inside. You know, we are going to draw out 2 balls without replacement. The first selection. Let's assume that in the first draw, we pick a red ball, which is going to be 4 out of what? 4 out of the total, which is 10. Then multiply by the second draw. You know, it is going to be a blue because they say the 2 balls are of different colors. But this time around, it is going to be 6 out of what? 9, because initially there were 10 in number. You have selected 1 ball, meaning we have 9 balls. So we are selecting this out of what? 9. Then in the second selection, let's assume we started with blue ball. So it is going to be 6 out of 10. Then multiplied by 4 out of 9 because the number of balls have reduced. So we have 4 out of 9. So what we need to do in order to find the probability, we are going to take the sum. Probability will be the sum of this 4 over 10, which we can write as 2 over 5 to the lowest term, multiplied by this to the lowest term. 3 can divide 6 2 times, and 8 can divide 9 3 times. Then we need to add it to the other one. This to the lowest term is going to be 2 in 6 is 3. 2 into 10 is 5. But we leave this one as it is because you cannot reduce it. So 2 multiplied by 2 is going to give us 4. 5 multiplied by 3 is going to give us 15. Plus 3 multiplied by 4 is going to give us 12. 5 multiplied by 9 is going to give us 45. And we know that this is the same thing as 4 over 15 again. Plus 3 can divide 12 4 times, so we have 4 here. And 3 can divide 45 how many times? 15 times. So you can see altogether we're going to have 8 over 15. And 8 over 15 is the probability. Let me see, which option is that? Option B. Now let us move on to question number 52. The pie chart below shows the distribution of candidates that sat for certain subjects in a school certificate examination. Use the information to answer question 52 and question 53. You can see the pie chart here. It represents certain subjects. So question number 52 stated that what angle represents the students that sat for economics? Okay, this is economics, right? With a missing angle. But this angle, these three angles are given. And you should know that at a point we have 360. Therefore, in order to find x, we have to subtract these three angles from 360. So let's do that. 70, 20, and 150. So x is equal to 360 minus 70 minus 20 minus 150. And this is equal to 120, which is option E. Question number 53. What percentage of the students sat for English language? Correct to the nearest whole number. All right, let us look at it. The angle representing English is 150. So to find the percentage, we're going to take that angle, which is 150. We divide it by the total, which is 360. Then we multiply by what? 100. So I'm going to take 150 divided by 360. Then we multiply by 100. So 150 divided by 360. This will give us 0.41666. Then we multiply by 100. This will give us 41.666, but they said we should round it to the nearest whole number. So this will be 42, which is option E. Now let us move on to question number 54. We are asked to find the mean of the frequency distribution below, correct to one decimal place. Remember our formula, x bar, which is the mean, is equal to summation of f multiplied by x divided by the summation of f. So now let us start by finding the summation of fx. Summation of fx, meaning we should add the product, the sum of all these products. Let's do that. 2 times 9 is 18, plus 5 times 4 is 20, plus 7 times 3 is 21, plus 8 times 7 is 56, then plus 9 times 8, right, which is 72. Then lastly, 10 times 2 is 20. So let's add all of this together. We have 18, we have 20, we have 21, we have 56, we have 72, we have 20. Altogether, we have 207. So this is the summation of f of x. So what is the summation of f? You can see that this is 10. This is also 10. That is 20. We have 29. This would be 33. So summation of f is equal to 33. Therefore, the mean would be equal to 207, which is summation of f of x, divided by 33. And this is equal to 6.2727 recording. But they said to the nearest one decimal place. So this is 6.3. Which option is that? Option C. Now let us move on to question number 55. Question number 55. It reads, the table below shows the scores of applicants in an interview. You can see their scores here and their respective frequency. If an applicant is chosen at random, what is the probability that he scored at most 8 marks? What is this at most? It means less than or equal to. So we're looking for the number of candidates that scored within 0 and 8. That is any mark equal to 8 or less than 8. So to find the probability, we need to find the number of those candidates divided by the total number of candidates. So let's find them. You can see the marks here. we need 8 to be the highest, coming down to 6, right? So what is the number of candidates there? We need to add 2, 4, and 2 together. 2 plus 4 is 6, 6 plus 2 is 8. So we have 8 of them. Divide by their total number. I think after 8 we add this, we're going to get 13, and 13 plus 3 is going to give us 16. So we divide by 16, and this to the lowest term is 1 divided by 2, and hence the probability is 1 divided by 2, which is option E. As simple as that. Now let us move on to question number 56. Question number 56 reads, a box contains 20 oranges. 14 of them are ripe, while 6 are unripe. If 2 oranges are taken one after the other with replacement, find the probability that one is ripe and the other one is unripe. So we are picking only 2 oranges, one is ripe and one is unripe with a replacement, meaning if you pick, you're going to replace it back. Therefore, the 2 selections are what? Independent. So let's assume we have a box here that contains 14 ripe oranges and 6 unripe. The first selection, let us assume the first selection is ripe. So we are going to pick among the 14 ripe oranges out of the total, which is 20. Initially, after you have picked an orange here, the total will be 19, but you have replaced it back. Now you have complete 20 oranges. Then you pick again, but this time around among this set, which is going to be 6 out of 20. The 2 selections are independent, remember. Therefore, this is all we have to compute for our probability. 2 here will give us what? 7, and 2 here will give us 10, multiplied by 2 here will give us 3, 2 here will give us 10. If you multiply the top, you have 3 times 7 is 21, 10 times 10 is 100. Therefore, the probability is 21 divided by 100, which is option A. Now let us move on to question number 57. Question number 57 reads, the mean of the set of numbers 2, 5, x, 6 is 4. What is the value of x? Remember, mean is sum of items divided by their number. So we are going to add them together. 2 plus 5 plus x plus 6. Then you divide by their number. They are 4 in number. And the result is what? 4. Let us collect the like terms. 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 plus 6 is 13. So we have 13 plus x. You cross multiply this time, this will give us 16. So we have this to be equal to 16. You need 3 to make this 16, right? Therefore, x equal to 3. 13 plus 3 is 16. Therefore, x must be 3, which is option E. Now, question number 58. Question number 58. Evaluate the integral from 0 to 2 of the function 2x minus x squared. All right. This will be 2 multiplied by x to the power of, naturally this has a power of 1. You increase it by 1 to make it 2. And you have to divide by that power 2 minus x to the power of 2 plus 1 is 3. You divide by the 3. The boundary from 0 down to 2. If you simplify this, you have 2 cancel 2, just x squared minus x cubed divided by 3 from 0 to 2. Let us substitute the boundaries. The upper bound is 2, so you replace x with 2, that is 2 squared minus 2 to the power of 3 divided by 3. Then you take the lower bound, that is 0 to the power of 2 minus 0 to the power of 3 divided by 3. You simplify, you can see the whole of this will be 0. The only thing we have is this. So this is 2 to the power of 2 is 4 minus 2 to the power of 3 is 8 divided by 3. And this is equal to 3 times 4 is 12. And we have 12 minus 8 is 4 over 3. And we can write this in mixed number. 3 can go into 4 one time with a remainder of 1 out of 3, which is option C. Now let us move on to question number 59. Question number 59. If y is equal to 3x squared minus 4x minus 12, find the value of x when the first derivative is equal to 0. Meaning we are going to differentiate y with respect to x, which is going to give us, the 2 will drop down to multiply 3. That will give us 6. X raised to the power of 2 minus 1 is 1. You move to the next one. You know naturally this has a power of 1. If it drops down to multiply 4, we have 4. X to the power of 1 minus 1 is 0. Therefore, x to the power of 0 is 1. And derivative of constant is always 0. So this is what we have. So at a point where the derivative is equal to 0, we want to find the value of x. So we take 6x minus 4 and set it to be equal to 0. Take 4 to the other side and divide both sides by 6. X will be equal to 4 divided by 6. And this to the lowest term, 2 into 4 is 2. 2 into 6 is 3. That is 2 divided by 3, which is option C. Now let us move on to question number 60. Question number 60, a particle moves in a straight line such that its velocity after t seconds is 3t plus 4 meter per second. We're asked to find the distance traveled in 4 seconds. Remember that velocity is the rate of change of the distance over some time, right? Therefore, the rate of change of the distance is equal to the velocity times dt, right? And if you integrate both sides, you can see the distance will be what? The integral of v dt. So what is v? V is given as 3t plus 4. So s will be the integral of 3t plus 4. And s will be equal to 3. You raise t to the power of 1 plus 1 because naturally it has a power of 1. Plus 1 will give us 2, and you have to divide by the power 2. Plus, if it is constant, just attach the variable t. Alright, plus the constant of integration. But this constant of integration must be 0. Why? Because at initial stage, where the distance is 0 and the time is 0, everything will be 0. Therefore, the constant will be 0. Let me just remove it. We want to find the distance when t is 4 seconds. Therefore, s of 4 will be equal to 3 4 squared divided by 2 plus 4 multiplied by 4. We simplify. 4 squared is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So we have 3 times 8 plus 4 times 4 is 16. 3 times 8 is 24 plus 16, and this is equal to 40. Therefore, the distance is 40 meters. And this is our last question. Thank you for watching. Do share to your learning colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more exciting videos. Bye bye.